Oh, I didn't touch yours. Touch. Touch.
Hello, and welcome to King Leo D&D episode
70.
Wow, that's nuts.
7/10
Cool.
of 100.
Also, with hitting 70, I already told Steven this yesterday, but we've hit 25,000 views on YouTube.
Whoa!
And we're just under 1,000 downloads for our podcasting.
Woo!
So really cool to have a lot of round numbers all together, to know that people are following along and enjoying the story. It's really fun.
Nice.
That is it for the announcement. It's just a little celebration of 70 and that, and Rachel's birthday.
Woo!
Rachel's birthday.
She's turning 70.
She is also turning 70, that's right.
Whoa, what a coincidence. That feels like
You look great for 70.
I know, my age is phenomenal.
Changing the times to just throw this around. Rachel, impromptu cheers. Toast.
Toast.
What's your toast?
Toast.
May your topos be Chico and your solos be red.
Wow.
Cheers.
Toast.
Your amours be sick.
Great.
Topo
Sorry, should
Chico.
I explicitly reference something on
Well, now Sally's doing it more, so
Please sponsor
May your
us.
sickos be more.
yeah.
Great.
Ew! Don't say that. Not may your sickos be more.
Sick as.
Well, it sounded like you said sickos.
Oh, I was wrong.
Your amours could be sick.
Yeah, that works.
There you
too.
go.
May your
May your
be sick.
Moors
Like
be
a hill.
sick.
Right. Before we recap the last session, does anybody have a random movie that somebody else recapped that they haven't seen?
We watched Everything Everywhere All at Once over the weekend.
Okay, has anyone not seen
Has anyone not seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
This will be
Explain
great.
it.
Rachel's done one already, though,
Yeah,
right?
he's
Okay,
already
so we've got Michael and Cassandra.
What haven't
Michael,
you
what
seen?
happened?
Okay, do I need to name who's in it?
For Everything Everywhere
You can
All at Once.
Just recap it. What happened?
Recap.
Alright, so what happens in, what's it called again?
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Great start.
So it starts off really close up at like an ant, and you see the blades of grass around it, and then it zooms out and shows kids playing in a yard, and then it zooms out and it shows like cars and trains and airplanes, and then it zooms out and it shows the Earth, and then it zooms out even further into the galaxy, and that's all it is, and at the end it says everything everywhere all at
Who's in it? Who's the star?
once. The ant. He doesn't. It was his first showing.
Does someone voice him? Is there a voice actor
No,
for the
it's a
ant?
silent film.
Oh, not even Morgan Freeman going, once there was an ant.
It's David Attenborough at the very end.
Okay, great. Awesome.
And that was. And then you zoom out and you're in a sandbox and then a prison and Michael Scott's there and it's a paper company.
And that was Oscar-winning Best Picture.
It was great.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Nobody knew what to expect.
Truly it was.
Can now somebody actually recap who was here and knows what happened in episode 69?
Who wasn't?
All of us were here. Why were you so
Yeah.
accusatory?
All of us were here.
Because Michael never saw the movie, and so it's a different kind of recap.
We should do where like someone misses one, they have to recap.
Yeah, hey, you weren't here. What happened?
Delightful.
And then Steven's like, I found 500 gold, and then I found 500 gold.
500 gold.
Yeah.
That's good.
We fought cultists that were summoning a dark dragon thing.
Did
And
it start with fighting?
we were fighting...
Yeah.
Why did they start fighting us?
Yeah.
After
Well, that happened
No
in
reason at all.
68.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
A laborious attempt at maybe stealth. Who could even call whatever that was stealth? But we were trying to do something past them. And instead, they just kind of watched us while like a dog defecated for pretend.
The dog just
Like,
appeared out of
Full
nowhere.
pretend.
Yeah.
And rather than like think anything about the dog, they immediately pivoted and attacked us. But and we all fought, and then Pilgrim got necromancied so hard he died, and then
Oh my gosh, yeah. You died.
but I'm called Nemo.
We all
and even
laughed.
I can't remember that. And then Misery used one of his dad's cool stones to bring
What do you mean one of?
Nemo back. What? Don't you have?
the
Oh,
cool
he
stuff?
used the cool stone to bring
We,
Nemo back.
in character, don't know that he has any more than one, because he told us, I only have one,
Gotcha.
so.
And it worked.
So Nemo's back now, and everyone else successfully defeated the cultists, and the dark dragon's gone, and that's about all she wrote.
So that brings us right
Nemo's
into.
murder she wrote.
No.
We are in
Forgetting we have music.
the dungeon. We are in the caves. We are in one tight cavern that has been painted over with imaginary cave walls. As you, Dallin, have been able to make hallucinatory terrain that makes it almost impossible for anyone to distinguish that there's anything other than rock where you all are. For a massive area as well, larger than the dome, enough to encapsulate everyone. And so you all bring Pilgrim, who is still extremely weak and barely able to get himself up off of the ground, into this area where you're able to lay him down and prepare for the night. So we were kind of before the long rest and before leveling up. We'll pass that over to you all for interaction.
Tully's gonna come sit cross-legged next to Nemo's head, like a little too close. And just kind of rest her. There's no escape for Nemo. Can't escape this interaction.
You're doing it!
And I just kind of like lean my elbows, or Tully leans her elbows on her knees and goes, "How you feeling?"
Leak.
Yeah.
So back to normal.
You did die, that's true.
Yes.
Well, I'm so glad we were able to like bring you back. Did anything happen while you were dead? I know the last time I died, or maybe the second to last time I died, I had an interaction with Anivia. So I didn't know if you did, or no pressure, no need to share, but
I saw too much.
whoa.
There's
Like everything.
There are
everywhere?
some things I want us to actually talk about with that here at the table before we go through it. So at this point, maybe you don't remember like exact details, like family, numero, stuff like that. But like exact details around what that looked like are kind of foggy right now.
Tuli like is gonna like reach her hand up over again, not asking, very uncharismatically, over top of your headstone and say, and she wants to sense if she senses anything, and she's gonna tell Nemo what she sensed before. But do I sense anything active in the headstone? Anything different from before?
It's a little warm, but you don't see any like
I'm not
activity.
touching it. I'm
then
hovering to sense it.
You can still feel a little warmth over
Okay.
it. Yeah. But it's not like any form of like activity going on right now. Yeah, no.
Okay, she's gonna like hit Nemo's shoulder and go, "Get this."
Oh.
Yeah, a little harder than necessary. When you like, when you like, your headstone started glowing, and I could sense a ton of archonic energy circulating within as I was trying to check your chi points. It's a long story. You had to be there. But do you know why that was happening? None of my business. I was just curious. He still can't talk. Oh no.
What? Oh.
Oh.
So sorry.
There.
I mean, it's gonna get picked up in Sally's mic, so it's
Steven never mic checks me and Rachel because no one hears anything we say anyway.
What was that?
His and my check.
Somebody's speaking.
Anyway.
What's up with your headstone?
Tuli leans down right into Pilgrim's ear.
Oh my gosh, did we even hear your cheers?
yeah.
Oh no.
It was picked up in
It's
the
fine,
table's
yeah.
mics. It's fine.
Nice.
Explain it in at least 5 sentences.
What was the question?
Yeah, I interrupted.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think how to say it in where Pilgrim's at right now. Lots.
Whoa.
Tuli's gonna say, cool. Okay, let's talk about this later, huh?
Please.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. You're still laying flat, right?
Uh-huh.
Gwen's just gonna just gently put the jar of bees on your chest.
Aww.
Oh.
Ow! Is there anything we can do to help you get your strength back, or will just sleeping help?
I don't even shake my head. I kind of rock back and forth. Rest.
Okay. Hey, Misery.
What's up?
Why don't you play him a little song?
Sounds like he wants to be left alone.
Why don't you play him a little song to lull
You
him
want me
to
to play you a little
sleep?
song?
Sure.
Are you sure?
No.
Yes. Do you want me to play something original or do a cover?
Original.
Original, okay.
Do you need me to look at the lyrics? Do you remember?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay.
Never go to sleep, you need to go to sleep. Oh, wait. Did you want something like lullaby-ish or?
Perfect.
Never go to sleep, you need to go to sleep. Never go to sleep, you need to go to sleep.
Off in the distance, you can hear rocks shifting and falling.
Illusion complete. Yeah, Pilgrim closes his eyes. Not clear if he's asleep or not, but he closes his eyes and he's just laying there.
Wincing every time Misery yells.
Any preparations for this rest? In general, I'll say you all feel pretty well protected by this terrain. However, that is still countered by the fact that you know of one very skilled and trained fighter as somewhere in these caves, and then there's Varlane that you don't know much about, searching for you all. So between those things and the fact that these druids exist throughout the caverns, and you all just interrupted and slain a group of them, there's mixed feelings of safety and protection, as well as general presence of outsiders and people who might stumble upon your rest. Any type of protections or preparations you all would do. Also, that includes the watch order and things like that.
Lilith, do you have any sense now? I know probably not, but any sense of how close we are to the city at this point?
I forgot I was here. No. This particular cavern, and the fact that that dragon's skeleton was near, I do believe, within the next day, we should see the city tomorrow.
Wow, that's super close.
It goes so fast.
Yeah. I also think, if I'm remembering correctly, we have actively done 2 long rests since you started, but I also think there was at one point when you all were traveling through the caverns that you may have spent another night or 2 that we just quickly brushed over. So at this point, you'd be into your kind of 3rd, 4th day of traveling through, just to kind of keep record of that.
Does anyone ever think about how many wonders could one cavern hold?
No.
You ever think about that?
Every day.
Me too.
I don't get it.
Anne doesn't like the Little Mermaid.
I thought it was Aladdin for a second.
How many
but it's-
caverns?
How many caverns can one wonder hold?
Pilgrim sits bolt upright. Look at this stuff.
Who's Pilgrim? Nemo's swimming in the sea.
Anyway, any form of watch order, protections, preparations?
I will offer to go last since I only need 4 hours of sleep. So if people can just take the first 4 hours, I'll take the rest.
That one, since he made the train, will stay up and he'll place himself at the farther end where we didn't come from.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't expect for them to come from behind us, so if anything were to happen, then he's gonna put himself.
Yeah, it would be wise, like he's thinking of, to double up because of how large this illusion is. If y'all wanted to kind of front the ends of it, you could split up and do that, or if you wanted to just stay tight and have one person watch right by where you all are laying out, you can do that too. Either one's fine.
I am not gonna do the tiny hut thing because there's too much politics involved.
The drama.
Do you say that out
The
loud?
train should protect us.
I whisper that to Nemo.
I keep thinking you're saying train. The train should protect us. The train will protect us.
You all can also at some point, either you hear him or you look over and see Chris is just kind of like closing his eyes and running some like things through his head. You can see that he's reacting to them and kind of like moving, and then eventually those movements just like start to take form with the hammer, and he's just like thinking through particular like striking patterns and stuff and getting more familiar and comfortable with it. Before he's going to bed, he's just like really in his head about stuff like that.
I will approach.
Go for it.
And say,
I will approach.
In Steven Simmons fashion, he goes,
Oh my gosh, his full identity's been revealed. Stephen J. Simmons.
I was Chris all along.
I'll say if you want to get up early, we can run some combat practice if you'd like.
would you do that?
Yeah. Would you do that?
Yes. Your hammer is a lot bigger than mine.
Do you have it?
I have smaller stuff.
Okay.
It'll just be practice.
Okay,
We
that
won't-
sounds better. Are you gonna hit me?
You won't hurt me, will you?
I don't think I could, but are you gonna actually hit
Got
me?
him.
No, we'll just practice like sparring and stuff.
Spot.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. See you at
First
fancy
light?
o'clock in the morning. What is time?
Fantasy o'clock.
He looks up at the stone walls and just goes, "First light."
Yeah, I'll wake you up.
Oh gosh. Okay. And then he just sets the hammer down, like finds his bedroll, and just immediately like lays down.
I assume that as an adult, well, she's like more adult than him. She would have a better, not biological clock. She knows
Sure.
when she needs to have bear comes by. Internal clock, not biological clock.
And her mom is like,
Internal clock.
Gwen, you're running out of time. When are you going to give me grand cubs already?
Your cousin had 4 cubs by the time she was your age. It's like, F off.
Wow. We're really unpacking this right now.
And Gwen.
I assume it's like she's like 4 or 5 years older than him. She would have a better internal clock.
Sure, maybe. I mean,
Maybe,
this
I
is
don't
very destabilizing to
I
be
don't
down
know.
here. But
Someone will wake someone up.
all y'all know is that you're tired. So, great. That sounds good. And he will do that. Lilith stays up for the first watch as well. Jock is pretty quickly going off to bed and getting comfortable. So.
Tuli is going to do her meditative thing that she can do. We established in lieu of sleep a long time ago.
Dan,
Don't tell me not to.
Dan, you said it. This was your
Just
idea.
kidding, you can't tell me not to.
Yeah.
So she's like sitting cross-legged doing like the meditative stance, and she has she's doing like this, and she has her wand balanced between the 2 hands. And she's doing 2 things. She's considering the wand again because she's wondering why it absorbed the darkness spell when she counterspelled it or disrupted it. And she's also thinking back to that fight between Taribod and the party. And she's going through the actions in the way that she's been trained to do as a monk wizard. Trying to think about any vulnerabilities, anything that comes to mind of how she can, any ways she can counteract Tari, either physically or through spells.
Yes, for sure. Go ahead and do the Arcana check with advantage. I think this is the 3rd night that you've been trying to dedicate study to the wand. And so you're making progress, and so to kind of reflect that, I'll give you advantage on this as well.
Okay.
Monk.
First roll. 14 plus 7, 21.
Perfect.
Again?
Go ahead, yeah.
2 plus 7, 9.
We'll take that 21.
Okay, 30.
Yeah, so
Line.
you can relate the powers of this wand pretty similar to your ability to take and harness the magic that you dispel and then empower your punches with that. This wand has a kind of a similar relationship to the magic that you can dispel with it. Does it also have The only innate ability it has is magic missile. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It says whenever you absorb something
Yes.
strange happens.
Yes. So when you use this wand to dispel magic or counterspell something, you also can absorb some form of essence of that magic that then empowers the magic missile within this wand. And so right now, the magic missile that's within the wand has some form of other effect or damage or something associated with it, stored within it from counterspelling the darkness that would then be expelled if you use the magic missile. From the wand. And that's also reflective of the natural abilities of the of the Duskglass. That, as Jacques has talked about it, as y'all have been interacting and seeing, Duskglass itself just has very potent abilities to meld with magic. That's what it is used for most specifically. And so this wand has been kind of crafted in a way that enhances its ability to do that through the magic missile.
Cool. So if I use it, I'll just ask you what happens.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Cool. Go ahead and make a... Just do an intelligence check for me as you were reflecting on the Tari Bod fight.
Okay. Aw. 11.
Okay. Let's see. I'll give you this. I think this is particular and helpful and worth knowing.
I can't use my Thread Weaver's ring for this, can I?
You've already used your other ones and you haven't long rested yet, is that correct?
Okay. No, but the one that I had left was a 1.
You could use it. You wanted to. But Joffrey is open.
It feels early on
Okay.
with a potentially big fight.
Yeah, the table's covered. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, do y'all agree?
Yeah.
It might just be a pond. I don't know.
Yeah. All of your characters are thinking about how some part of reality is covered
It's
up.
covered. Well, technically, like the tunnels, like
It sounds like there's a
yeah.
shroud.
we don't know what's gonna happen.
I'll give you
that's
one
what it
piece of
is.
information that I think would be very readily available that you will also find very useful. It took a lot of attacks to kill her, or get her to a point where she looked rough and was running away. And so to translate that you would know pretty heavily of like, oh man, we put a lot into her and it took a while. To translate that into D&D talk, she has over 200 hit points.
Well,
Yes.
Love knowing that.
And that it's not like, for your sake too, it's not meta to know that because your character would have some form of understanding of like, if you punch a cat, it's gonna hurt the cat more than if you
don't
punch.
do that.
I know. I immediately regretted it as soon as I
Exactly.
said it.
Punch a fly, maybe.
Yes, that certain things just have less of a threshold to withstand damage than others, and she's high up there.
She's a tank.
He has to
That really upset Stephen.
Awesome.
You gotta take cat blanket?
So yeah, for you in your meditative state, that is, while your body is resting, your mind is running. And your mind is just completely running through all the scenarios of the wand and even kind of looking it over. And you have almost like a photographic memory of it as you're kind of studying it in your mind. And then also you're running through plays and thoughts of like all the fight. And so that's for you what the whole night looks like as you're resting and trying to focus on those things.
Sweet.
On the outside, you're hooting, but on the inside, you're hollering.
Whoa.
That's what your shirt says.
I love it.
With Kermit the Frog.
That's great.
Hey everybody, I'm Kermit the Frog.
Wow, terrible.
Were you still doing Morgan Freeman, or was that coming?
Everything, everywhere, all at
I run out.
This is fun, I'm having fun.
All right, so we have first watch established, which is going to be Thelen and Lilith.
Oh, 2 at a time.
Yeah. Who, just to get the order correct, who wants to take the second watch? Watch is 2 hours long, and so we're going to do first watch, second watch, and Lorelith, and if anyone would join Lorelith. So second watch.
Knowing that Lorelith would be the last option, I'm going to do the second watch.
Okay. Got it?
Wow.
Anybody want to join for second watch, or just Misery on his own?
Who wants to hang out with me?
Does Thelen's new observation help when he's sleeping? So if I were
Yes.
Whoa.
in knowing that, I would sleep. If he's the only one watching, then I would sleep close to an area that wasn't
Yeah.
being watched.
Sure. That's fair. So, first watch, you and Lilith. Second watch, Misery. Anyone joining him or just...
I can help when I'm like, can I get enough sleep? And
Yes.
Still get
Yes.
up early with little Chris boy.
I think
Ooh.
Nemo needs to sleep the whole night.
I'll take the third one then. If it doesn't disrupt. Or do I need the whole night?
No. I would say you
And do
with
myself.
whatever. No, you'd be fine. You could
Okay.
do a watch as well.
I'll take the third one.
Sorry, Gwendolyn, you'd have to sleep 6 hours and then use the last. It would kind of like be during half of Loreleth's watch to spar, which is fine. That overlap is fine. But I don't think you could sleep and spar. I'm sorry, I don't think you could have watch and spar.
Okay. I guess I won't have watch then. So.
Okay, great. And Pilgrim, Nemo should sleep all night, as you were representing with your silence. So, okay, let's go ahead and hop into the first watch. First, we'll just do the perception checks. Go ahead and roll one of those, and then bonk this into everything. That's a 12. Cool.
That's about it. Do we add anything to perception?
Yeah, your perception.
The perception
Oh.
modifier. Skills roll down alphabetical order. And
Oh, nice. 17?
Right.
Well, I get advantage, but I'm not in my
Yes.
bestial form.
Yeah,
What's your modifier?
5.
Wow.
So over 12.
that's great. Yeah, over this first 2 hours, most of your attention, you don't hear or see anything like creeping into this space, and so you're just looking over the group, and you see Jacques sleeping in a bedroll, Chris next to him. You notice that it takes Chris a little bit to actually fall asleep. You can notice his breathing patterns and all of that, and he's you can get a quick read onto it, and he's just like very excited, and he's still kind of like thinking through some things, but every once in a while his eyes just kind of go up, and he like looks around, and you see him just kind of nod while looking over the group. He looks over towards his hammer, and there's a part of him that you can see is just kind of like, he started off brash and very bold, but you can see that he's starting to feel like even confident and comfortable in this type of atmosphere. And he doesn't even notice you're looking at him, and then he kind of rolls off and goes to sleep. And then you see the rest of the party. Tuli quickly into a meditative state, eyes closed, still kind of like sitting up a bit, not like laying down like everybody else is. And again, you're extremely perceptive, and even now picking up observant, like you can even see that like underneath her eyelids, her eyes are like rapidly moving around, but you know that's not from sleeping. Like, and she's just like, her mind is going and going. Pilgrim, Nemo, unmoving, just
Freak out.
and,
Read it.
Solid like a rock.
and while he's sleeping, you can eventually see like his hands just kind of move up and like clasp the necklace that he's wearing. And then you can hear a couple of words that he says in his sleep. One is Ume, the other Ronu. You know what those are, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And you hear both of those words.
Good.
Misery might be humming or something in his sleep, who knows. But before you're... I'll let you catch up on your note of that before I...
It's just trying to autocorrect Ume and Ronu.
yeah.
To what?
Pick something different every time.
Umami and Roku? Does this mean anything to you?
Yes.
Got it.
And as you're kind of just looking over the party and realizing that your spell that you have is doing a really good job of protecting these people that you have become part of, you eventually meet eyes with Lilith, who she's been watching you, and her eyes are just on you. And then you're like, all right, as I've been observing others, like she's been observing me. And she like kind of gets up as your eyes meet. She moves over and sits next to you. What are you thinking?
Just observing the way that people's minds enter rest. I know that some people experience danger and trauma differently, so it's interesting to observe and just gain more knowledge of the people that I've been traveling with for a little time.
It has been interesting to also be of a people that has experienced such trauma by the hands of one family and see how others have adjusted to that. I half thought that, gosh, now I'm, oh my gosh, East Cove.
West Cove.
Farley.
No. The Duragar.
Zangan?
Zangan, thank
No,
you.
wait,
Man,
or is that the
you're
bad
right.
guy?
No.
Duragriff,
Duragriff was the one from
That's the bad one. The blind one.
Well, your values judge me. But yeah. Zangan, thank you. I always get them confused in my mind, but that's right. Yeah. I have thought that Zangan would be interested in this trek. Thought he might join us, but he has chosen a very neutral and passive response to such trauma, and that has always astounded me as well. It's interesting the way that people's minds or hearts win that battle.
I don't know if Thelen responds, but more so just takes it in and nods.
Cool.
Not knowing like the weight that, like, clearly there's a heavier weight for her and the history than Thelen can understand, and so out of respect doesn't want to respond in any way that may be non-empathetic over it.
I'm curious also, as the silence just kind of hits and you have like 2 hours, she does bring up one other thing. You all came to our city in search of someone, but also working for someone. I'd love to hear what is going on there. And she like immediately her like kind of like reserved, kind of very selective thoughts and being precise language. At some point in that sentence, she's like just kind of looks around, and you can see that she kind of like realizes where she is, and it's just like away from the city and with you all. Then she just kind of like drops for a second, and she's just like, what are you doing? It's kind of like this question that comes from her.
As someone who's been a loner for so long, I ask myself similar questions sometimes. I met this group of very unique individuals in the midst of a traumatic time, and didn't know their backstories or their relationships with the city or whoever was paying them to help protect and defend. So I kind of just joined in and felt a connection to their personalities and all of that, and it kind of just tagged along with many of the things that were already established before I even joined.
What trauma did you join them in?
Well, I was stuck in a trap in a tree, and one of the party, Julie, was dead, and they were carrying her.
Dead?
Yeah.
She
Much
looked
like
over.
Nemo just was.
How did she manage to return?
I believe it was the same sort of stone that Misery used to save our friend Nemo.
He did it, or Worth did?
I believe it was his father.
Yes, okay. Fascinating. And you see her just kind of look over towards Tuli as she's sleeping, meditating, and then Lilith just like kind of drifts off and is pretty much remains silent, just thinking and looking over the party for the rest of the 2 hours before she goes off to sleep. So, is there anything else that you would bring up or say?
One thing I have noticed about this group in the short time that I've been with them is their dedication to each other, and almost a feeling of family that you often don't find among strangers. So while we may have our differences and arguments, I trust these people, even though I've only known them for a short amount of time.
It is one of the greatest blessings of this life to have a family so trustworthy around you. Okay. Next watch is Misery. So you were woken up by Thelen.
I tickle the back of his ear.
Oh god.
Pinch his toes, he loves that.
No!
His little hoofs.
Misery,
Hey.
you
Oh, it's my turn.
you ready for your watch?
Yeah, I got it.
Thanks, bud.
Go sleep.
Cool, go ahead and make a perception check.
I perceive that I'm awake. Oh, that's why we're not rolling. No. 11.
Okay, great. Eventually a lone bat makes its way into the illusion and just kind of flutters around above you all and hits itself into a side wall and then rights itself and flies on. But other than that, it's the only thing you really notice throughout. It's pretty good.
Ah! Quick, did it have human eyes?
Was it blind?
Oh my gosh.
Did it then say, bat?
Its eyes were glowing blue. Yeah, and other than that, the 2 hours go by pretty boringly quiet and kind of alone.
I like being alone sometimes.
Yeah. Next is your responsibility to kind of wake up Lorelith. She's going to be awake soon, but you get the opportunity to.
Did I have the third watch? Or did Lorelith?
I want you.
Just Lorelith.
She has the
and
rest
you
of it,
joining.
right?
You are joining. Yeah, you can wake up Lorelith and Julie. That's right.
But I have the rest of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you meditate too, so you're both.
Well, I took
4
the third
hours.
one because I thought
Yes.
no one was taking it.
Oh, okay. No, Lorelith will be taking it.
Okay, I wake up.
Cool.
You
You want to interact with either one of them before they?
didn't. What?
I'm shaking you awake. Hey,
Hi.
you were gonna do the third one.
I know.
Okay, well, it's time.
Do you have to touch me to tell me that?
How do you want me to wake you up?
Just say, hey, wake up.
Does that work for you? Doesn't work for me. Julie, wake up.
Oh my god.
You
She's
said.
awake. She's meditating.
I'm awake.
Hey.
See?
All right, you guys got it. I'm really tired, so I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Julie's gonna stand up and stretch and then come over next to Lorelith, Okay, she's learned a little bit of respect for Lorelith, so
That's
not right next to her, but a foot away. A foot and a half away.
Hello?
Oh.
As she sits down. Are you sure?
I was just gonna say there was a bat earlier, so look out for it.
What?
And I go to bed. I go to sleep.
Where is it now? Oh, okay. He's
No,
asleep.
I leave it and go to sleep. I fall asleep while saying that.
Say, hey.
Shouldn't one of us stay on the side close to one of the illusions and one of us stay on the side?
But what if we get lonely? She says, Tully says, okay. But I was just gonna tell you, I was thinking about the fight with Tari.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty strong. I was
Yeah.
thinking back over it. She's at least, I'm gonna say 4 times as strong as us.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So,
How'd you come to that conclusion?
well,
You just thought really hard? Or?
basically,
Oh.
I can enter a meditative state that brings some clarity to combat.
Okay.
So, in thinking it over, yeah, I wish I divined more, but that's all I came up with. So,
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna see if I can figure out what this bat situation is.
it's still here? He said it was gone.
I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay.
Hey, can I cast? Oh no! I almost picked to locate animals, as one of my things, but I didn't.
But now you can just be friends with them.
Now
Yeah.
I can just be friends
But you
with
can't
them.
find any to be
Can't
friends with.
Find any to be friends with.
Do you think it was maybe a polymorph?
I mean, maybe. Is Tari a polymorph?
Would I know that?
You would know
Is
the
that a
spell, yeah.
sentence?
Would you know if it was?
Would I know if
She can
Tari
do it.
would have learned the spell polymorph?
Oh.
Is able to.
You're not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Judging what I know about her, probably not, but I'm not sure.
Or even Farlane, but.
Tari tends to like the showy stuff. she's basic like that.
All right. See
I
your
see
opinion
why.
of her. Would we have any feel if Farlane would have learned anything like that?
You don't know anything about her except that demon situation.
Except she was a spaghetti monster, and now
Yeah.
she's not.
Yeah.
Linguini monster, sorry.
Based on Farlane's magic and just who she is, I think she'd be more likely, but I guess we still can't know, I guess.
Yeah. It seems odd that, Felon turned into a bat to check them out, and the next thing we knew, a bat ended up in here.
It got a real quick glance, according to Misery.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep a weather eye out.
Do we need to roll perception?
Yeah.
Okay.
After that
Okay.
conversation. So, yeah, let's do a roll perception.
Okay, I will also perceive.
Yeah.
Did you just fart?
That's my chair.
I thought it was cat.
Sure, do it again.
That was my chair.
I rolled a 1. Plus 1, 2.
Whoa. That's really bad.
Yes.
You have to roll a 20.
I rolled an 8,
Okay.
but I have plus 6, so 14.
Oh, that's great. Within 5 to 10 breaths after Thule walks across the kind of camp to go sit on the opposite side, you hear subtle snoring and some sleepiness coming from Thule. And her mental efforts that she was putting in earlier has
Nearly
gotten,
falls asleep.
has gotten the best of her, and she fully falls asleep.
Is there a pebble near me?
Huh?
Is there a pebble near me or something?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Great. I pick it up and I throw it at her. And I go, hey!
You get hit in the middle of a sleep that you didn't realize you were in.
Does it wake me up?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I throw really hard, but not so hard that it would hurt you or I would have to roll for it.
Whatever that threshold is.
Yeah.
Whatever the median range of that is.
Was that non-lethal or?
It was level 3.
Okay.
Makeup!
Uh,
Put on a little bit of makeup. Here, in case after the gym.
He says, what a sick tune. So, Thule, I'm assuming she was sitting cross-legged and had fallen back flat and was sleeping. Okay, when she wakes up really badly because and so she just instinctively rolls and grabs another, if there's a stone near her, and rolls and then tries to throw it back.
Sure.
Just
Like a larger
reactively.
rock, just misses
Whatever's
you.
close to her.
Yeah. Like a fist-sized rock, just gets launched over the camp, kind of back over in your direction, hits the wall next to you.
Hey.
And then Thule falls on her back and says,
Fallon, you wake up. You hear it and you wake up.
she says, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Listen, are you helping keep watch or do you need to sleep?
No, I'm awake now. I'm very awake.
Are you sure?
Yeah, adrenaline is coursing. We are all good.
Did I notice that Fallon woke up? Did I perceive it?
Do my eyes even open, or do I just hear?
Yeah, it's more of just he hasn't moved or anything, but it's the
Do I
audio of it.
perceive a change in his breathing?
Sure, you can roll another percentage.
I can sleep with one eye open.
I hear your brain.
Sleep with one eye open.
Dylan's eardrum is rattling. He heard that.
15 plus 6.
Oh, yeah, for
Is-
21.
wow.
Sure, yeah, you notice that he kind of twitches a bit as the rock hits the wall and he pops awake real quick.
Fallon, it's okay. She fell asleep and then freaked out because I threw a rock at her. I like to whisper too.
Hey!
So many quotes today.
And Christmas is right around the corner.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Okay, Tula goes back to her watch position.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wide
so
awake.
Nothing really grabs your attention or anything until eventually Gwendolyn starts to stir awake and you realize it's been pretty much the full night when she wakes up and proceeds to get Chris.
Is he awake?
Not yet.
You gotta go wake him up.
Let's say hey,
What?
Chris. Look at that gym like misery.
Oh my gosh. Talk so much louder.
She's trying to be quiet.
I don't want to
the
nudge
morning.
him like you, like Misery did, and piss you off if you see it
Oh,
happen.
he's Chris. He'll be fine.
You didn't see it happen anyway.
Chris will be stoked.
I know, but Cassandra knows. Hey, Chris.
I was gonna say, Laura says, I can have Wolfie wake him awake if you want.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So like,
That's worse.
not for Wolfie. Go do that.
Great. Pad. What? Ah! Oh. Ugh. And like pushes him back. All right, and he just looks over, makes eye contact with you, and you.
Hey, man.
Hey, bud.
Hey.
You wanna-
He's like side-eyeing over towards Loreless nervously.
Do you have something to say
My face is wet.
to Strogoth?
No.
Are you sure? You pushed him off of you.
Use my face.
You're
Do you
ready?
want to apologize? Or?
For what?
You shoved him off of you.
He woke
He's
me
just
up.
trying to help. You wanted to be woken up so you could spar.
Yeah, by Gwendolyn.
I thought you would prefer the pup over.
No.
Okay, well now we know for next time.
Do you hate dogs?
I can't believe you don't kiss your dogs on the mouth.
No, I just wasn't expecting it. I don't know.
If you've never eaten a cookie that your dog first took off the table with its own mouth, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
what are you
Oh,
Oh, Dan's done that. That
Yeah.
was the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was a crumble cookie, so he didn't want
That makes sense.
it. Yeah.
Don't want it to go to waste.
How far away should we go for this?
And I didn't think about other people sleeping.
Oh, we can just do it here. It's fine.
I can tell you how big the train is too.
What time? Like, how long is it before other people wake up? How early do I think I woke up?
An hour or two.
Okay. Is there a way that we can go like to a far edge but stay within the terrain?
300 feet.
Okay, yeah, just as far away
150
from
of those.
the party as we can.
Great. You can go back into the dragon skeleton room.
Nice. That's a good place to
Yeah.
practice.
Cool. Great. Go ahead and let's just do strength checks for this. Or athletics. You can add athletics to it. I will say this: if collectively you both get over 25, Chris's strength score is going to go up.
hey.
Wow.
Pressure.
So add athletics to it?
Yep.
20.
20 total.
Yeah.
You rolled a 13.
You said if we both get. Oh!
Collectively,
Collectively,
20
yeah.
over 25.
Woohoo!
I was like, how are we each gonna get 25?
If you both roll 25. No, great. I'll bump his strength up.
Oh.
Yeah,
Chris, let's
Wow.
go, Chris.
I will also say, while you, this is very interesting, while you are fighting him, and he pulls this little hammer out, you notice a couple of things. So go ahead and just make a wisdom check for me.
Ooh.
What?
7. It's
Okay.
early.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
So I don't notice anything. Thanks.
No. Thing 1 or thing 2? You can pick one. Which one do you want?
Thing 2.
Okay. You notice that whenever he managed to get a really good hit on you in sparring, it actually kind of destabilized you a bit, and then kind of left you open for another attack afterwards. And so in that, you know that he has this ability that if he ever hits something with a critical hit, that all attacks between his round and his next round will have advantage on that target.
Sick. That's pretty good.
So in that, you know...
All of his attacks?
No, all attacks.
Oh.
All attack rolls on that thing are made with advantage if he gets a crit. You also, this one was pretty readily available. If he it's easier for him to crit as well.
19.
Huh? 19 or 20, yeah. So.
19 or 20?
Yeah, if he rolls a 19 or a 20.
Oh, I didn't know
He's such a
19.
good fighter.
He is a good fighter. To translate that into some D&D speak for you is, like, in this sparring, like, he started this as somebody who's never wielded a hammer before, and at this point you're like, oh, he's starting to develop some skill in this. And you notice that there were some moments while you were sparring where like he could have gotten a good hit on you, and he showed a little bit more prowess with the hammer. However, also note he was really easy for you to hit. like at no point you had to like cut your abilities down to half to like make him feel like he was dodging or blocking some attacks. But yeah,
Does he have any armor? Yeah, does he have any armor or anything?
nope.
I thought he had really basic armor. I thought we got him really basic armor from Jacques. Like, not anything fancy. But we got him something.
Not Duskglask?
Yeah, like
T-shirt with dried glue on it.
the basic
That's
leather
gas.
stuff on him still is like leaves his armor class really low.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, she said, does he have any armor
Sure,
on him? And
yeah.
you said no.
Yeah.
Usually when I ask Dan like an or question, like is it this or this, he says yes. So I'm used to this kind of mythical, like unclear communication.
Mythical.
This is fun. We're having fun.
It's a
Usually
fantasy
I say
question.
yes after the first one is the correct one. And then you
Weird
say the second
response
thing
for
after I have
or.
said yes. And it's like, no, the yes applied to the first.
Normal ways to talk to
Yeah,
one another.
absolutely.
D&D is a good place to work that out.
Yeah.
So yes,
So Chris
he has
says, when I
armor.
say yes, after you say or, what?
So he does have some basic armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mom, Dad.
Or anything? Or...
Oh!
Shut up. Are we done sparring then, the way you're talking about it? Or...
Yeah, but you can still like talk and
Okay.
like retro anything into it. But...
Hang on.
No, I would have, throughout the sparring, would have thrown in some, like, just so, and, like, quick like a cat, and, like, scaly like a lizard. Let him figure out what that means.
Great.
He doesn't know what a lizard is?
No.
No, like, how do you do something?
Cereal. Pharrell.
Oh,
Trains Arya.
Yeah.
Just so. Just
Cool.
so. Just so.
I see.
What even is that for?
What?
Game of Thrones.
It's quilt day.
When Chris,
It's quilt day.
Chris is the first to get back from sparring, and everyone else is waking up at this point. And she just said animal things. She didn't talk to me.
She kept calling me a cat.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I encouraged him to.
Oh, she was really encouraging. He says as he gets back to his bedroll and starts
Positive meows.
packing things up. Great. Everyone else is waking up. I got stuff to tell you.
Okay.
While you were sleeping, you start to dwell more on your experiences when you had passed away for a moment. And so, first is in this distant place, you felt a familiar journey where you felt as if your body was being transported through the mighty magical telescope that you had constructed. And there was this sort of traversal of some form of like outer plane area that was moving you away from campus and the place that you have spent your whole life. And through that, you did kind of distill the whole like dying process and some form of leaving to be with the gods or some other place. And then you do see a couple of figures in that transition as well. The two names that I had mentioned earlier are who you see. And also, you do hear pretty quickly as you're seeing them, not their voice, but you hear from Numero. Nemo, you are back again, but this will be a very brief moment. This is not your time, and your friends will not leave you to be here with me yet. With me now. Anything you would say or respond to in this like brief dying moment that you have in this space? You can see those two figures. They seem distant, but you see their faces. You can make them out, and you know that Numero is present as well.
Does he feel more present to me than them, or do they feel more present than he does?
Numero feels more present to you than they do.
Do
They
I
seem like they're
have a-
moving in your direction and approaching you, but he's the close one.
Do I have a sense of like my body, or do I feel very separate from it? Like I'm just kind of an entity.
You feel separate from your body.
Well,
and they are embodied.
Yeah. I think I would just say, is Roman with them?
He is not here.
Where is?
That's it.
Oh.
And so as that stark curiosity just spikes in you of like, what does that even mean? That is like the moment you were brought back from misery, and in your dream as you were sleeping, you were seeing those visions and kind of replaying that scene over and over again that had happened earlier. It is now time for everyone to wake up. all the cave chickens scream in harmony.
Those are bats, Dan.
They call them cave chickens.
Help! I'm blind! I'm blind! Sky mice.
They're going.
Those are cave roosters.
Because echolocation.
Yeah, they're going.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Jacques is one of the first to get up, and he gathers all of his things and then walks back into the cavern that the dragon skeleton was in. He walks over towards Lorelith as you are already awake. Would you mind much if I used one of your, some of that mushroom that you had harvested?
For what?
I'm going to go back into that room and I want to see things a bit. I'd rather not use torchlight. I figured that would be safer.
By yourself?
I would welcome anyone who would want to come with me, but as you all are waking up, I at least would start heading in that direction.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that this wasn't like a private mission.
No, absolutely not.
Great.
I'm
No one
sure
should-
you all would be heading back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
And Lilith speaks up. Are we heading back? And then Jacques just, Lilith, if you wouldn't mind, at least give us a moment there. I don't wish to delay us much, but I'd like to see what this dust glass formation is and how much is in there.
yeah, sure, that's fine. I just want to keep everyone in mind, and I go to reach for 1, and I have 9 left. I thought that I had 10.
Yes.
Huh. That's weird.
Didn't y'all address that last time? Because Misery said something that made it clear, I
I think
think.
so.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
So you forgot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Misery stole one.
can I have that,
So,
please?
yes, you can have
Oh,
it.
okay, thank you.
But as a reminder to the group, we now only have 9 left. So for those that need it, Misery. No, now we only have 9 left. I thought that I had 11,
Oh.
and I actually had 10.
Bro.
After the one that he takes me,
Whoa.
I have 9 left. We only have 9 left, so only the people that need it,
Uh-huh.
Misery.
That's me, okay.
No, you
No?
don't need it.
Hello, good morning.
Define need.
What?
No, like you don't have dark vision. You can't see in the dark. Anyway, we only have 9 left. It's only our, 4th day down here? Let's just be cognizant of how much we have left and making sure we're using it, because I imagine there's not going to be a lot of light when we get into the city. Is that right, Lilith?
Well, there are plenty of torches and ways that we did light some of the city. I mean, I think that there might be some left, but we will see. The door that we had stopped at had some lighting around it that was magically enabled, so maybe the rest of the city would too.
Okay, well, statement stands. There's only 9 left. We're keeping it for only those that need it. I'm keeping it closer to in my pocket. I don't know. Somewhere that
Sure.
isn't able for him to take it.
Big old pocket.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It was in my backpack, which was easier for you to get.
Mhm.
Now it's in, I don't know, a pouch or something.
Several pouches within like a
Yeah. In my bones. I hid it in my bone chest. You know, because I wear my bones.
Ah, yes.
Oh yeah, the bones.
The bones.
I thought you meant like your rib cage.
No.
My bone chest.
No.
Bones.
So, but yes, here you go.
Yeah.
Let's.
We only have 9, guys.
Misery.
And we need them for the way back.
Has anyone ever told you that it is miserable to be around?
Because we can't get any more.
We can get them on the way back.
Wait, we can get more. Very good point, Felon. Wow. That's such a good point.
I kind of like shoot a look at Wolfie, and Wolfie growls.
Good
Misery.
boy. That's a good boy.
And he slowly crouches and approaches Misery.
Ever good boy. I bet him.
Good.
I tell him he's a good boy.
Are we taking any mushrooms, Misery?
Who?
You!
No, I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just going to, and then Jock just walks. Okay.
I'm gonna go help Jacques.
Yeah. You follow, you see him just immediately walk straight up to the skeleton within the dust glass, and just like admiration and excitement in Jacques' eyes as he's looking this over, and then also pours his eyes over the walls and is just like measuring and calculating the wealth of dust glass that is in this chamber alone. At one point, he kind of whispers to himself, like, I've always heard that this is where it came from. It's an amazement to see it in person. And with that is back to staring over the massive skeleton of the dragon in the center of this.
Can I use my dungeon delving skills?
Yes.
My bow hunting skills?
Mm-hmm.
My computer hacking skills?
What are you delving into? What are you looking for? What are you...
I want to see if there's... I want to try to detect the presence of any secret doors.
Yeah.
Or traps that may be...
Yeah.
around.
Got it. Go ahead and roll perception.
Dungeon delve.
Is it perception or investigation?
Either one.
I have advantage on both.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm fine with you doing perception.
Okay. I just want to ask because my modifier is different. But...
You want perception.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I do. That's why I was checking.
You want it.
13 or 4. 13 plus 6 is 19.
Okay, great. Full perimeter and checking around the outskirts of this room. It's all solid dust glass, and none of it is seemingly tampered with at all. And so with that, like, nobody's tried to do any type of magical traps. You don't see any like physical traps or anything left behind in any way through the other pathways that are to the left and to the right or anything. And because it's all this solid dust glass as well, it's not chipped into. It's not been kind of moved around physically in any way to like hide anything within it too. So because it's transparent, even the dragon in the center has been preserved and untouched. Nobody has kind of tampered with it.
Oh, even the cult people haven't touched the dragon skeleton or anything.
It's encased within dust glass, and that dust glass doesn't seem chipped away at or anything.
Okay. Does it can I tell if like any of it seems like man-made or?
It all seems very natural.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even the skeleton stuff?
The stuff that's around it?
Well, I guess I mean like, is it a box? Does it look like a box that they built, or does it look like a fossil situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like the dragon had died, and then around it, this like stone enclosure is like grown around it, and there are even some veins of that you can see extending through the ground into the walls around.
Okay.
Also, that was a pretty high perception check from that too, and you've heard Jacques talk about this as well. You can tell that the source of the dust glass in general seems to have been like kind of growing out of the dragon's skeleton. In the way that it has remained here and was decomposing, it naturally has now kind of formed into this space around it. And this is also the biggest collection of dust glass that y'all have ever seen. So as you're seeing that, and it seems very potent here, there's some relationship between a decomposing dragon and this dust glass. You also see 3 spears and the druid bodies still around this area too.
One final question.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And everybody else is up and can join into this room as well.
I don't.
Do I recognize, is there anything recognizable about the dragon skeleton? Like, might I recognize what dragon it is based on its, like, anatomy?
Sure.
Or anything like that?
Okay.
You're gonna make me do
Give me a
another check.
second. How old are you again?
I am.
You're like somewhere between 300 and 400, I thought.
No.
I thought you were.
I
100.
was. No. I was 300 when my family died. And it has been 100 years since then, so 400.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll a history check.
Right? Is that right? 300? And it was 400 years?
That sounds right.
When my family died
thought you were-
during the
Yeah.
battle of.
The war between the gods and
Yes.
or the war between the people that the gods were involved in. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Oh,
That was
that
it.
war.
Yeah, that was like 400.
I thought you were 100.
Years ago.
Yeah.
When,
No.
when
Oh.
the battle happened.
Yes. I was 100 when the. No, I was like just before the age of maturing.
100.
17.
Oh my god.
We'll put you in like the mid 400s. That's
Great.
fine. Yeah.
You just had your quinceanera.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure the age of maturity is like 100.
You said a
For elves.
history check?
I did.
Well, that sounds right.
Yeah, you were 90.
Do I get advantage?
No.
It's a 9.
Okay. The Draconic War was older than the war between the gods and people, and with that, so dragons were kind of abolished and gone before you were born, and so this is even like a history of a history to you, like a lot of that.
But I was very aware of them because I had family members that were alive
Yes.
during the Draconic War.
Yes. And so with that, maybe this was a green dragon because you got husks down. Being pretty green and like that alignment makes sense to you. You don't remember ever hearing of any important green dragons in the history of the world.
You rolled the 9.
I have entered, and I have gone over to the druids. I want to investigate, I want to sift through their pockets, and then I want to take a look at their.
I'm looking for a lot of shame.
I'm curious about their magic, and if there's any clues as to where they came from down here, anything like that, any kind of writing. And then I also wanted to look at if I can, the spears, and just kind of, I'll probably be like, Gwen, take a look at these.
Yeah. Investigation check.
Okay.
This one's named Brittany.
I love that. That's a nat 20, baby.
Oh,
Plus 7, baby.
All right.
27.
Baby.
So,
Just like Caleb.
natural magic, the area of magic that you're pretty unfamiliar with. So, with that, not so much in the arcane, but instead using the natural elements of magic that is already in the world and specifically potent in certain things, kind of using that to then enhance the powers of things. Like that's their general MO. Pretty similar to Thelen, of like there's power within the world, and you can just kind of like summon that and empower that, rather than in your way where you were trying to like create and harness it yourself. So there's that little bit of a background. The spears
I
are
also go through their pockets.
yes, we're getting there.
Okay,
We're
sorry.
getting there. The spears are tipped. The whole spearhead is husk stone. It is not. It doesn't look pure like you've seen other husk stone, and even your enchanted husk stone stuff. Like you know that there's arcane runes and stuff written on it, and ways that magic is put into husk stones. These spearheads look almost kind of just like slightly discolored, and kind of like their basic natural essence has kind of shifted a bit. Which then, as you sift through their pockets, you pull out. Each of them had like a pouch of bloodroot blood, not wine. This isn't like the Lone Helms distilling it and making it into a drink. This is the pure, natural, from the raw form blood of the tree. And so they all had a pouch of that, and the discoloration to the spearhead is shifted into like a reddish black that you can see little kind of like veins of it on each of the spearheads. And you've seen them kind of pour the blood onto the spearheads, and it empowers them in some way.
So do I discern that this is necrotic damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm handling them very carefully, and I like pull out the 3. How many packs do I find?
You find
4.
3 pouches of blood, and you find 3 spears.
All right, I kind of gather them up and I bring them back to the party, and I kind of like carefully lay them down and say, "Be careful, these do like a lot of necrotic damage." And then I wink at Nemo, and then
Dang.
and then I kind of say, and I crouch next to them and I pick one up and I say, "So you guys saw how they poured the blood? I guess this is the essence of the bloodroot tree, and I think if you pour this on the tip of the weapon, do I discern if it has to be dust glass to work, or can it be any weapon?"
It's a specific reaction of the dust glass with the blood.
Okay, I explain that. And then I say, so if you pour this on our dust glass weapons, it'll do necrotic damage. So here are the pouches. Feel free.
To be abundantly clear, we've said
Hearthstone and dust glass.
I've said both.
I've swapped back and forth on
Sorry.
accident. It is entirely dust
Dust
glass.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
A Hearthstone is more of an idea than a material, right?
Alright, it's fake.
A Hearthstone
Is this-
is what's around my neck.
Yeah.
Hearthstone
doesn't
is
have to be
made out of
dust
dust
glass.
glass.
Does it
All
have to
Hearthstones are dust glass. Not all dust glass is
Oh, it's rectangles.
Okay, I got it.
Mr. Leo,
Yes.
I have a question.
Your Highness.
King
Lord
Leo.
Leo.
King Leo.
Leo,
Mr. Leo.
is this
Mr. Dungeons.
is the blood pouch stuff? Is that the same thing that was in my
You're getting burp.
my
Oh.
arrow?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
because they both cause necrotic damage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What is in your bow is a toxin.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Not all necrotic damage.
Do they
is-
cause the same necrotic damage?
Generally, yeah.
Okay.
I kind of am still crouched and like lay the spear back down and I say, Gwen, you use spears, don't you?
Yeah.
You want some necrotic spears?
You throw them.
Sure.
I mean, if anyone else, how do we discern how long the blood lasts? Like, is it a permanent effect once you pour it on?
So, you would, from your ability to put this all together. It is a burst of necrotic damage that lasts a minute, and it's a bonus action to apply it to a weapon, and it's a D8 of additional necrotic damage to what the spear would do in the first place.
Okay.
Observation.
Yeah, so I say all
Wow,
that,
that's crazy.
and then I let y'all decide who wants them.
What's a D8?
I don't want any. I don't want to. I generally don't really even use my sword. So,
Same, bro.
Yeah. I don't really want to be close enough to use my sword.
That's fair.
Well, I guess I have javelins. Are they similar enough that that's fine?
Yeah.
Do I discern if pouring it on my wand would produce any sort of necrotic damage from the spells?
It would do something.
Whoa.
I'm gonna say, y'all, if it's okay with y'all, I'm gonna snag one. And I snag one pouch. But not the spear.
Can I? Because you said the bow had a one-time toxin use, right? Was that true? Or does it
Yes.
refresh every day?
No.
It's empty
The
now.
toxin is one time.
I used it.
You can also once a day add a D6 of necrotic damage to a certain shot that you make.
Okay, but the toxin was one time.
Yeah.
Is there, like-
you can fill? There's a chamber where you can add.
That's what I was
necrotic.
gonna
Yeah.
ask. Okay. I'll take a pouch or two if that's okay, and I can refill that little spot in the bow that I found
Sure.
that had toxin. It's not the same, but it does the same thing.
Up to you guys.
Is that
Gwen, do you want any of the spears? Do you want one of the pouches, or is it okay if Loyola takes two? What do you think?
That's fine. You can take it.
okay?
Just also as a brief refresher, Lilith talked to somebody about the toxin sack from Shistroka. I can't remember who. Was it you?
Is it Gwen?
Okay, and it was
Talk about
specifically
getting
like.
it from.
Did she
About
ask
stealing
you?
it from me.
No. Yeah. Did she ask you if you would ask Thelen for it?
No.
No.
She asked what would get him to give it up, and
Yes.
I was like, I don't know. He's a mystery.
Got it. I forgot about that while they were at the campsite together. She probably would have brought that up, but it's fine.
So we need to go back in time.
No, we're good. We'll leave it as it is. Cool. So 3 spears. Anybody holding on to those?
Too
Did you
heavy.
take one?
I can take them if nobody else wants
Great.
them, or I
You
can
got a
take
bundle
one.
of spears on your back. I'll remind me to create that item for you and add it to your inventory. And then, Lorelith, I also need to remember to create that bow and add it to your inventory as well.
Okay.
And then you get a blood sack. You get a blood sack. Probably Gwendolyn gets a blood sack.
Lorth was gonna take 2, but
I would spread them out.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was
You have a dust
just
glass
in case.
dagger.
I think we all have dust glass stuff.
Do you have a dust glass axe?
I do have a dark
I have the hammer. The
Well, yours was
Okay.
armor that you were given. I don't know if anyone saw you.
No, no. I mean, you never know.
Well, who knows?
What?
Didn't discharge it in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I said, okay, I made a joke about you rubbing the blood on your armor and it like
I
draining
thought
life out
John
of
gave
you.
me the
He
dagger.
did, but that was private. That's all I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So
Oh,
Well,
okay.
either way, when I see that, I'm gonna be like, I've quite literally had enough necrotic
that.
damage to last a lifetime. So
Well, I said, but
Ding.
I made a comment about you taking it, and Dan made a joke, and Dan said, "Well," so I don't know if I would do something, but
damn.
Yeah.
Julie had a
Not allowed
momentary
to
bout
take that
of
information.
insanity,
Yeah.
and she's
but
now
what
fine.
you do recognize in all of this is like you're playing with physical elements of magic that is really interesting to you because what you do in theory and ether, these are fun elements of like what could this do? And the same with like these are enchanted for defense. What might happen with like the blood on that too? Like there is this element that you get a bit of like, oh, this is creative, and this is like dust glass is wildly flexible.
We can mod it.
Anything else y'all wanted to do in this room?
So we're spreading out the sacks.
Spread those sacks.
Spread the sack.
It's a fair question.
Yeah, and that one you can add a custom item to your own thing that says like blood sack.
This way.
Cool.
Definitely not rubbing that blood on my
I mean, I said blood pouch because
Cool.
pouch felt better than sack, but.
It's a good call. Appreciate that.
Does a pouch feel better than a sack?
Eventually,
Oh my god.
As I notice that they have the pure blood from the tree, I look around to see if I notice any roots coming from the walls or anything like that, or
Yeah.
maybe a chance to harvest some more in its raw form, since we now know that it has power.
yeah, there's none in this room, which is interesting to you. Like, as you've been piecing together, and we'll share some of the knowledge that was like talked about earlier, because we don't have to like have every tiny minute conversation, but like you all get to the point where like, okay, dust glass comes from the dragon, and then this blood root is like interacting with it and everything. It's like you're trying to figure out where the bloodroot tree might be, and it's just not in this room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Lilith is kind of like leaning toward on the middle like, pathway, and you can hear her kind of like tinking nails on the glass beside her. And
Is this the way we should go, Lilith?
whenever you're ready.
I think we're all done here. Yeah?
Yep.
Let's go. I'll take the lead.
I'll join you.
I'm done with all these fossil fuels.
Let's go ahead and make survival checks.
What?
No, Lilith and Thelen.
Okay.
We as in me and him.
Wee! The royal wee. Wait, I don't even know.
Whoops.
100.
Whoops.
You need a 12 or higher for this to be direct and successful.
Alright, try to get a 12 or higher.
Because
I'm trying
Lilith
to get to
didn't
my.
do too
It never
great.
lets me scroll down to.
Never lets me scroll.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is this it? I don't want to interrupt.
He's like,
My magic missile has proliferated to the 7th level. I don't think I have 7th level spells, do I?
You can use the charges of the wand to do all. So the
17.
charges are used, not spell slots.
I see.
17?
9 and 8.
Cool.
Okay.
That's
awesome.
a lot of missiles.
So, with Lilith and Thelen leading the group through the caverns, and they're discussing different patterns between, at some point, some moisture, and you can hear some water through some of the caverns. And Lola speaks up and says, I remember at some point we crossed a river to get to the West Cove side. And then with you just got like air patterns and stuff and trying to figure out like what airflow to follow that might lead to an opening up. You take a couple of turns, you make a couple of decisions, you work your way through until you get to a point where the cave opens up to a pathway that leads straight downward and into what you all see to be a pretty large city. And I need to find, I have a picture to send you all that gives kind of like just a feel of what you're looking at. Find that, which I'll do, and you can add it to the video later. I'll do that in the break. But what you see down below you is obviously 4 distinct areas of a city with formations and structures of a building. However, between all of these structures, there's massive rock formations and structures that do provide a natural barrier that separate each of these 4 quadrants that has been civilized and kind of hewn out and developed. In the center of these 4, you can see one solid like rock structure and a river that comes in on one side and flows around this structure and flows out. And so you see ahead of you the abandoned city of what Dusk Forge has become. Lilith lets out a bit of a gasp, and I didn't know when I would see it again. And then a smile kind of hits on one side of her face as she's looking down at it and looking at the rest of you. Well, half of our journey is behind us, and we have much left to do. So we will head into the city.
To the city!
To get Grandpa's stick.